All right, my friends, this is Donnie.
And Sandra.
And we are coming to you from Wake County, W-A-K-E County, ghost capital of North Carolina, it seems like, because we got 5 ghost stories we're going through with Wake County. And so really interesting stuff. Make sure you check them all out. There's some real spooky stuff that's going on in Wake County. I don't know what they got going on, but it is a big county. It's a big county. So if you guys want to learn any more about that, check out our fun facts about the counties that we stay at. But check out the fun fact on Wake County. Check out our campground review. We are at Holly Point Campground, and check that out and see if it's something to your liking from our RV friends. And but at any rate, this ghost story came from NorthCarolinaGhost.com. Really interested site. Got all types of creepy things in there, spooky things in there that you can learn. This one here is called The Miller Married a Witch. The Miller Married a Witch. And so, not a long ghost story. So this is how it goes. Sometime ago, before the Civil War, there was a free black man who owned a mill not too far from Raleigh. His mill was going fine, and people from around the county brought their corn to the mill to be ground. He thought his luck was doing fine, particularly when a beautiful young woman came to town one day. He took such a fancy to her that he married her, and they settled down together in the mill house. But soon after he got married, people stopped bringing their corn to the mill. Rumors started spreading around town about the young wife's strange behavior, and folks became convinced that the miller had married a witch. Soon, no one would even set foot in the mill. Now, the miller was a brave and generous man. He would often shelter runaway slaves within the mill, giving them a place to hide and plan their route up north to freedom. One night, a young boy who had run away from a nearby plantation made his way to the miller's house. The boy had heard that the miller's wife was a witch, but he said he wasn't afraid. He had a butcher's knife with him, and he said he could protect himself from anything. So the miller opened the quiet mill for him and showed him where to hide if anyone should come looking for him. The boy was settling down for the night when out of the shadows walked the biggest, blackest cat he had ever seen. The cat was bigger than a dog, as big as a panther, and its eyes glowed like relight. Not sure what that means, but it was like relight. As it came closer and closer, the boy saw that the cat meant to do him harm. As it raised up its paw to strike, the boy pulled out his butcher's knife and chopped off the paw with one strike. The cat howled and ran away out of the window. The boy stayed awake all night, and the next morning when the miller came to call on him, the boy told the miller everything that had happened. The miller went to rouse his wife out of bed, but she refused to get up. She kept herself wrapped up in the covers and said she was feeling ill. She said she wasn't going to get out of bed at all that day, but the miller pulled the covers off of her, and when he did, he saw that the bed was covered in blood, and that her right hand had been chopped clean off. It was clear enough what had happened. The wife was a witch. She had been driving the mill's customers away, and last night she had turned herself into a big black cat and headed out into the mill to kill the young boy. Well, the miller tied up his witch wife and called for the neighbors. They all agreed there was only one thing to be done. They killed the woman and burnt her body so she couldn't come back to haunt them. After that witch was out of the mill, folks started bringing their corn back to the mill. The miller became wealthy and found another young woman. this one wasn't a witch. And they married, and he had a happy life, and that young boy made his way north to freedom. Now, more about the story. In 1935, at the height of the Great Depression, President Franklin Roosevelt established the Federal Writers Project. The Federal Writers Project employed men and women to go out and gather stories from across the country. Writers throughout the South recorded the experiences of former slaves. The Slave Narrative Project recorded the histories of over 2,300 former slaves. Apart from being an invaluable insight into their experience of slavery told by those who lived it, the Slave Narrative Project also recorded a tremendous wealth of folklore. One of the questions asked was about belief in the supernatural. This story is retold from one of those slave narratives recorded by the Federal Writers Project, and was originally told by Richard Mooring, a former slave who lived in Raleigh and was 86 years old at the time of the interview. Get that? And so,
Wow.
again, interesting, very interesting. And so, at any rate, guys, we hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you check out the other 4 ghost stories of Wake County. We wish you the best and hope you have a really good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.